try doing these 5 things starting now. They're super simple. And you could have a much flatter belly by the 4th of July. I'm recording this on June 4th. You might see it a couple days later. It doesn't matter. It's never too late. So I'm going to share 5 tips that you can apply. You can start doing this stuff today. It's really that simple and start seeing results. And bear in mind, these are flat belly tips coming from a 58-year-old. Actually, I'll be 59 in 2 months, who is 5 years postmenopause and had 2 very big babies, both born via C-section. I also developed a diastasis recti later. So, I've had all of the things and I got my abs back. Like these are my post-lunch abs. So I'm telling you, I gotta slide my belt around a little bit. This stuff works. You're gonna want to save this video. And also, if you like my content here on YouTube, I would be truly honored if you would subscribe to my channel. That shows YouTube that my content is relevant and they'll start sharing with more people because I want everyone to feel amazing. So number 1 tip, an alarm just went off my phone. This is real life. So number 1 tip, and you've heard me say this once or twice, prioritize protein. I would say prioritize protein and produce, but let's start with the prioritize protein. We're going to get real specific here. Build your meals around high quality protein dense foods, like real foods. We are talking beef, fish, poultry, chicken and turkey, eggs, low fat dairy like cottage cheese and Greek yogurt are great if you tolerate dairy, but if that causes bloating, obviously, we're not available for bloating. And then you fill in with the colorful fruits and veggies. But rather than having the giant, like big ass salad people talk about, topped with a teensy weensy bit of chicken, like that's not, first of all, that can bloat you. And that's not very satisfying. Let's flip that. Let's do like a smaller salad. Get all those gorgeous colorful veggies, but you don't need like this giant salad, and top it with double protein. So what I would be doing is aiming for a great goal is aiming for 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So if you're at your ideal body weight, say you weigh 140 pounds and that's a great weight for you, you'd be aiming for 140 grams of protein per day. If you wanted to lose, and using that same example, say 140 pounds is your goal weight, but you're at 150 right now, I'd still be aiming for around 140 grams of protein per day. Again, this is a starting point. What this is going to do for you, first of all, you're going to feel satiated, not stuffed. We don't want to be stuffed, but satiated, satisfied. Cravings are going to be greatly diminished. I've had clients tell me how their cravings literally vanished, especially that desire to snack at night, which, we've all been there. It's going to make it so much easier to build and maintain muscle because to really get that flat belly, it's not just a matter of getting rid of the bloating, and maybe fat, if there's fat to lose, but we want to get some muscle to really look toned. And also it's so important for aging well. Muscle is the organ of longevity. And then if you do have weight to lose, if you have fat to burn, prioritizing protein, if you're really eating this way, it makes it so much easier to get into a calorie deficit. And if you want more information on getting into a calorie deficit, highly recommend you check out my latest cookbook, Happier, Healthier, and Hotter. I will absolutely link it here. Because that really, first of all, it's loaded with these high protein, low calorie recipes, but talks about how to figure out your calorie needs, protein needs, and all of that. So prioritize protein, and then fill in with the gorgeous, colorful fruits and veggies. Tip number 2, and this just goes along with the first one, cut the crappy processed carbs. They are not doing you any favors. If you don't cut them out entirely, cut way back. So for me personally, I don't eat grains at all. I don't eat grains, occasionally some rice with my sushi, but that's maybe twice a year. I usually have my sushi sashimi style. So, that's my choice to eliminate grains entirely because they're just very hard for me to digest. But they can be inflammatory for many people, not just gluten, grains in general. So I'd really look at your consumption of grains. Even the healthy whole grains can lead to bloating and digestive distress in some people. So pay attention to this. But definitely the processed carbs, things in packages, bags that have a million different ingredients. I don't care if it says like low carb, keto, whatever. If it is a bunch of ingredients you can't pronounce, probably don't need to be eating it. So I'm not saying you can't have carbs. You are getting them from your fruits and veggies. And depending on your protein needs and your calorie needs, you can certainly be adding in some delicious, like satisfying white potatoes, sweet potatoes, bananas, all of that stuff. But I would really look at the processed carbs. Like if you really, I always say, if you eat dough, you look like dough. And I know that's a little tough love, but that's the truth. And it's not that you can't ever have a treat. And in my cookbooks, there are definitely some grain-free treats that are very satisfying, made with real food ingredients, like my 50-calorie brownies, my better peanut butter cookies, that are just amazing and so satisfying. Third tip, and this is one people don't talk about enough, and it goes against a lot of stuff that we've heard over the years, but hydrate between meals. Don't drink while you eat, or at least don't get away from washing down your food with water, or even worse, like teas or sweetened teas or diet sodas. Slow down, chew your food thoroughly. You can have a few sips of your beverage, but you really want to hydrate in between meals. So this is going to improve your digestion. And it's going to greatly reduce bloating. So try drinking water when you first get up in the morning. You can certainly add electrolytes if you like, even to help with the hydration. And consume the bulk of your liquids in between meals. You're going to find this can have an immediate effect in reducing bloating, but it's also over time really going to improve your digestion. Old dietary advice used to say like, oh, drink a lot of water with your meals to make yourself full. Like we don't want to be full. The goal should never be to be full and stuffed. The goal should be to feel satisfied. And when you chew your food, when you take the time to really chew, you're really going to be tasting your food. And something else about this, it doesn't really, that I want to add about being satisfied. All of this time, I've been talking about eating real food. There is a place for protein powders. I use collagen daily in my coffee, but really look to be meeting these protein needs from real food that you chew, food without ingredients lists. Again, the beef, the fish, the eggs, that type of stuff. So first of all, this is food that you chew, which sends a message to your brain that you've had enough. So if you're sucking down like shakes and smoothies all day long, your brain doesn't always register as really being satisfied and having had a satisfying meal. Also, some of these contain ingredients that are going to, cause bloating and just have crappy ingredients. Not all of them. But so many of them too are hyper palatable, and they just make you want more sweets. Like we don't need to be eating things that taste like birthday cake and strawberry shortcake on a daily basis. We just don't. Eat some strawberries. You don't need the strawberry shortcake flavored protein shake. And again, a little tough love, but I believe in getting our protein from real food. And when you start doing it, it's really easy. Everyone's like, oh, women struggle. I see people marketing these shakes. Oh, we know you're struggling getting your protein. Try this. It's really not a struggle. Once you start doing it, it's also a lot cheaper. So there's that. Number 4, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Planks are better than Spanx. And by Spanx, I mean shapewear. So planks are my very favorite body weight move to work your entire core. I mean, they're great for everything. Your arms, they get your back, your triceps, your shoulders, your core, your quads, everything. So the traditional straight arm plank, when you just get in a like push-up position and hold it, that is going to work your entire core. Those forearm or elbow planks, which are my least favorite personally, that's great for those frontal abdominal muscles. And then the side planks, which typically you can't hold for as long, are great for your obliques. But even just do this straight arm planks, holding a plank every day for a minute, game changer. So don't tell me you don't have time to work out because you have a minute to hold a plank in the morning. And then number 4, and this is something I haven't talked about enough with my flat belly videos. So I'm going to share, I do talk about it a lot, but just not necessarily when it comes to this topic, but walk a lot. Especially if you have weight to lose, if you have fat to burn, but regardless, walking is a natural movement that our bodies are designed to do. It's what we're designed to do. We're not designed to pedal, nothing wrong. I mean, bike riding can be great, but like that's actually not a natural movement. We're not designed to run long distances, actually. Like we're designed to most like walk a lot and run fast sometimes. Sprinting is a whole other topic, something that I want to do more and haven't been, but maybe that's next. Um, Anyway, walking is underrated for your overall health, but for fat burning and for hormone regulation because it helps to balance our circadian rhythms. You want to get that natural light in your eyes. You don't always need to be wearing sunglasses. I mean, obviously, if it's super bright and it's hurting your eyes, go ahead. But getting especially that morning light in your eyes before 10 a.m. and also the evening light as the sun is setting, this is so beneficial. But throughout the day, get that natural light in your eyes. And so walking, I think a great goal is 10,000 steps a day. I personally aim for 15,000, although while I've had these little cold symptoms, I've been cutting it back a little bit, just listening to my body. But start where you are. So just use that. Everybody's cell phone is a built-in pedometer app these days. Just look at what you're averaging per day. And I would aim to increase that by about 1,000 steps a day for like do that for a week, then increase by another 1,000 steps a day until you reach 10,000 steps a day, and feel free to increase it from there. There are so many studies backing up the benefits of this. But what I love about walking as opposed to other like cardio is it's not putting any stress on you. It's not going to people get into that chronic cardio that elevates your cortisol levels and then leads to increased belly fat. Yeah, that's a vicious cycle we don't want to be in. So walking is not going to elevate your cortisol levels. Walking is going to help balance your hormones, especially when you get out in nature, you're listening to nature sounds, getting that natural light in your eyes. And as I said, it is underrated for fat burning. You do want to be, if you want to increase the fat burning, look to get some longer walks, like 45 minutes or an hour when you can, but it doesn't matter. All steps are good. They all add up. Like I aim for a decent walk in the morning. At least one day a week, I schedule a long walk with a friend, like it's a solid hour. But other than that, I got the steps add up where they add up as they do. It's some days are better than others, but I'm looking at what is the total at the end of the day. So just to reiterate, if you want a flatter belly by July 4th, start doing these 5 things. You can start doing them today. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to do anything special. You can buy my cookbook if you want some. It's $21. If you want some support with the recipes and the meal planning and that type of thing. But all this is free. Prioritize protein and produce. Cut the crappy processed carbs. When you eat dough, you look like dough. Hydrate between meals. Planks are better than Spanx, and get your steps in. So be sure to save this, share with your friends, subscribe if you find my message helpful. You can love your body and your life at any age. This is 58, no filters.